Hey, welcome.
Hi, Iris.
Hello.
Hello.
Great. Good to see you guys. Ah, I couldn't wear my love note. It was too hot. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's a new one for us in Maine. Trust me.
Uh-huh.
It has not been warm.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I'm on the other side of the country and I walked into a massage place this morning and the receptionist said, I think that's the first time I've seen you without a coat since last August or September. And it's 78 here.
Nice.
Yeah, like what it says 81 on my watch.
That's
Mm,
crazy,
really?
isn't it? And that's
Wow.
on the near the water too. It's even warmer inland.
That's interesting. It's like 63 here in the
Yeah,
Hudson Valley.
it's rainy and cold down here. I don't even know if they were saying 59.
Yeah.
And I just left Maine and we were there for most of the bad weather.
Oh,
And we
of
left
course.
yesterday.
Oh no.
And Kentucky is like I'm back in Maine last week.
Oh no.
They're talking like nor'easter conditions again this week.
Oh,
Wow.
I know they got snow up in the mountains in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. I know there was some snow.
I saw that.
yeah.
Yeah. We
What
had
a-
just yucky rain and cold and
Yeah.
It's really been quite a spring. Really, I
has
don't
it been
know,
spring?
has it been
Not
spring?
not in a
I
good
mean,
way.
I'm
no.
not sure.
Unless you like dreary cold weather.
Right?
Yeah.
Around here, we have a phenomenon called January, where we'll have sort of okay April and May, and then June socks in with the clouds and the rain and the cold, and we don't see warmth until after July 4th.
Oh,
Mm. January is a great, we might have to adopt that from our West Coast friends, Julie.
Kind of
I-
fitting here too.
Yeah, I could see that applying there. Uh-huh.
Mhm. Oh, let me just make my little notes. And Beth, I see you've got your beautiful, beautiful love
Yeah.
note on.
I thought I would throw it on I take the sweatshirt off and throw it on for the Zoom.
Well, let me just pin you for a minute so we can really take it
Yes.
all in.
Let's see if you
oh,
can
that's
pretty.
so
Oh,
pretty.
yeah.
with the
Love the
different,
color.
yeah, and
Oh,
the different, I did the different lace pattern.
I love the
So.
color.
Yeah, it came out really interesting. Because the mohair was variegated.
Mhm.
So it really had some
And
different colors.
the main color was semi-solid, is that, or solid?
It was white, but it had a lot of flecks of color in it.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it really came out interesting. I was
Just
weighing my
Go ahead.
I was weighing my leftovers today and decided I was going to make some shorty socks with the leftover sock yarn.
Perfect. Well, I'm endlessly fascinated by this phenomenon of what happens when we add the fluff. I think it's just sort of a fun new hobby to consider, like the possibilities, because it just feels amazing. I think I'm especially fascinated by that idea where you've got your variegated mohair against something dark and what that really brings to it. So, yay, congrats. It's gorgeous fit on you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Sarah, hi Sarah. Sarah's my neighbor here in Hope. Nice to see you on
I
a
am
Zoom.
not wearing my sweater because it's 81 degrees in Hope.
We just said that, and then our friend Julie out in because we were talking about such a dreary spring, and Julie, who's way out on the West Coast, so she has Maine roots. She said they call it January, which I was like, oh yes, that applies here.
Yeah, it in Southern California, where my grandma lived and my cousin still does, they call it the June glooms.
That works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and we used to live on San Juan Island up in Washington State.
Oh, yeah.
And the question was, how much fleece did you need to wear to the 4th of July parade? Because it didn't warm up until afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, but
Oh.
I'm
Yes,
not wearing
let's
mine, but I
see
brought it.
it.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Ooh.
spotlight you.
Oh, it's
Oh,
pretty
Nice.
color.
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Very pretty.
The one thing
Mm.
that happened, it's on the round plush DK
Mhm.
and this to die for Surrey alpaca that I picked up in Edinburgh last fall when I happened to be fortunate to be there at Ginger Twist Studios. And it's a Surrey alpaca, and it's called Breakfast with Ginger. And it's the most glorious turquoisey teal.
Ooh.
Mm.
And I may never use mohair again. I asked once, actually, sent a question on knitting for Olive, and they said that the alpaca and the cashmere don't have the same sort of halo as mohair, so it acts a little bit different, and it doesn't sort of envelop the whole thing as evenly. But for the softness, it cannot be beat. So
So just clarifying, plush single or plush DK?
correction, it was the nimble sock.
Oh, nimble. Okay. And was that oxidized?
Yes, it's oxidized. And
Okay.
I then bought, I don't know where it is. It must be back in my closet. Um, I bought the plush bulky in oxidized because I love it so much that I made a cowl out of it that I may turn into a pattern or I may not. And so then I had to go buy another skein of the bulky so that I can make a matching hat. So it's,
Amazing.
yeah.
So good. It's beautiful. And Sarah, seeing you with it, I'm realizing that I did get a picture of you with that beautiful
Yep.
sweater on for our slideshow, and I neglected to put it in the slideshow. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm going to add it because we
Okay.
have Teresa on here, Teresa C, who I didn't get her pictures until quite at the end. And so I'm actually putting together a little reel for Finished Object Friday, and I'm sneaking Teresa you in, and I'm gonna find that picture and sneak it into the reel for Finished Object Friday. So that's
Yeah,
where
it
it'll
was
appear.
at least a week, if not 2 weeks ago that I was in.
And I think it got buried, and that's what happened. So my
Yeah.
apologies about
Yeah,
that.
that's okay. Except I love it. And I hope,
It's so
I hope
good.
it will encourage people to, go for our under. The one thing that I did not even realize as I was knitting it, and I was sort of praying that I would have enough because I made the sleeves long and have a long torso, so I needed to make the body a little bit longer. Looking at the skeins, they looked wonderful, but when I finished, I didn't even notice it until after I wet blocked it. And as I go up, you'll notice it gets light at the bottom. And that was in the middle of a skein.
Wow.
So my lesson learned is that even with stuff that's as evenly speckled as the On the Round, where if I'm probably going to knit another sweater with her stuff, I will be alternating skeins,
Right.
as I
Yep.
go, just
Perfect.
in case.
Just in case.
Unfortunately, when I have it on, it's not too noticeable. So,
Yeah, I don't think I could even see it in the picture.
yeah.
Like if you didn't say it was
Oh,
there, I probably wouldn't have noticed.
yeah.
Yeah, it's I've got lucky.
It's just a really pretty color. Yeah,
It's
nice
very pretty.
job.
Thank you.
And Teresa, both of you have your love notes on.
Yes.
Beautiful. And so Teresa C,
Yeah.
was that blocking last week? Did you
No,
have it on? Yeah, no.
I finished it Sunday.
Okay, it's really pretty, and that's that.
It's very drapey too. Like you can see,
Yeah.
it's like
Mhm. Yeah,
it's that cotton that has a fuzz to it. So
from the Katia, it was the Katia yarn.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And I put it in the wash to spin it out, which I do with everything. I just put it in a bag and put it in my spin cycle. And then I put it in the dryer because it is very stretchy and it shrunk like,
Mm.
like, but all you had to do was pull on it and it came back out again.
Well, this is a beautiful second love note, and I'm
you.
gonna do show and tell with both of yours because I have those pictures at the ready. So let me just pull them up. We'll do them right now. Here you are. Ooh, look at that.
Oh,
Can you guys see that?
That's the first
Yeah.
one.
yeah,
Yep.
that's
Wow.
I like that one. That one was fun.
And this one was, I believe, Fino with,
Kid Silk Haze.
yes,
Mhm.
beautiful. So, so pretty.
It was interesting
right.
the colors, the way they work together.
Yeah, I'm just zooming in a little bit so we can see that detail. Nice. Really, really beautiful. All right, now let's see our green close up. Oh
There's the
yeah.
green.
Look at the oops.
Good job.
Yeah, beautiful job.
Yeah, I
Beautiful.
made that one a little bit longer.
Mhm.
Probably didn't have to because it stretches so nicely, but that's okay.
Yeah. Lovely.
I'm happy with
Lovely.
them.
All right. And Teresa S., you've got your beautiful one on
Yep.
short sleeve sonata.
Pretty.
Can't wear long sleeves, so no problem with that. Makes it a little faster.
Great.
That's
And
pretty.
you enjoyed the sonata?
Yeah, it's so nice to work with and it feels so good on the skin, so definitely will be using that one again.
That's great. Beautiful.
Did you pair a mohair with it or just the sonata by itself?
Just the sonata by itself.
Beautiful.
And did you just hold it single? You didn't hold it double?
Yeah, I just held it single, and then gauge swatched a whole bunch.
Yeah, I have some sonata and I was thinking of using it, so I was interested to see how yours came out.
Somebody, I believe it, can't remember right now. Somebody did a sonata plus fluff yarn. Isla did hers just with sonata, I know. That's really a pretty one. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting yarn because it's a sport, but it can be a little thick and thin. So you work with that.
It was not so much that as other neuro yarns I've worked with. Some of them like really seriously like, oh, it's really thick now. There's barely anything there, but this was mostly consistent.
Beautiful. Well, okay. See, there's these. I was able to locate the Sarah pictures, so give me a minute. Let me get those so I can share those with you guys. It's nice to see the detail. All right. Share this one. Here you are. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
love it. Really love how, yeah, look at that. With the speckles come through just a little bit. And I love your choice of t-shirt underneath. And then we have a little detail. Super pretty. Oh, what a nice job. Hmm. Ah, well, okay, so you guys, this is exciting. I finally, yesterday I was doing some testing in the shop with Zoom and being logged in, and I had the test Zoom to finally figure out the audio. So hopefully when we watch the slideshow, we can hear the audio, which has really been bothering me. Okay, so let me just get that ready. And going to share with the sound and here. So fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best. All right, so we can see it. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it when I press play. Okay, let's try it.
El día que nos casemos verás qué bueno. Nuestra casita feliz, un nido de amor será. Y en esa casita linda solo estaremos cuatro personas, personas no más. Cuatro personas, personas no más. Tú y yo, papá y mamá. Tú y yo, papá y mamá. Lindo es el cariño entre tú y yo. Dulce son los besos que me das. Que sepa nuestro idilio solo Dios. Tú y yo, papá y mamá. Tú y yo, papá y mamá. El día que nos casemos verás qué bueno. Nuestra casita feliz, un nido de amor será. Y en esa casita linda solo estaremos cuatro personas, personas no más. Cuatro personas, personas no más. Tú y yo, papá y mamá. Tú y yo, papá y mamá. Lindo es el cariño entre tú y yo. Dulces son los besos que me das. Que sepa nuestro idilio solo Dios. Tú y yo, papá y mamá. 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 Tú y yo, papá y mamá.
Mhm.
That was
Yay!
awesome.
Yeah, it was so neat to see them all together too, and just more kept coming in, and it was so fun to see all the just different ways that it can look. And Kristen, I was so happy. She was so happy she finished hers. She's like, "Yes, I finished before the knit along ended." Woo! So she was steam blocking it yesterday, hers. So it looks great.
They all look great. I
They
didn't see
do.
one that was a disappointment. They were all beautiful and they
Mhm.
fit everybody so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect choice.
How many? I lost track. How many were there?
Yeah, I was going to ask that too.
lot.
I mean, of the pictures that I got, and got in there, let me just see. I think I had about 35,
Wow.
which is
Wow.
like the dog star we had actually more, but this is still a really nice showing and fun to see so many of you. And like Vicky, it was great to see yours because I don't think that I had gotten the sense of like I just really like how the length that you chose for it, and I think the neckline is perfect. And I remember that was a big struggle.
Yeah. Thank you. And I chose that dress to wear to a derby party, and it was cold and raining. And so the sweater, it was like, oh, I just finished it yesterday. Let's try. And it worked. So that
Beautiful.
was a nice little fun thing to have happen.
Yeah. Yeah, really great. Well, maybe we'll pause on watching it for a second time in case, because I think some folks said they might be a little late. So maybe we'll do it. We'll wait till maybe after 5:30 and see if anybody else trickles in for our second
Sounds good.
watch. Well, I got my sleeve is going. My first sleeve is going, which is great. I've been a little distracted with that new little design that I'm working on. But yeah, it's nice to be back with it, and it's like easy breezy, and it's so also awesome because with these sleeves where you're like, I don't have to remember to do any decreases. I'm just going around in a circle. Oh, no.
So
So
are
is
you
that
making the
your
shorter
one?
sleeves?
I think I'm gonna make the 3/4. I just love a 3/4 sleeve, so
I
I
do
think I'm gonna
too.
do that, and it's so light and fluffy. I think I'll enjoy that. I'm thinking of. But I'll probably be working on this on the finish along. Maybe not. Maybe I'll get it cranked out before I'm done. The other thing that's great is my younger son has been home for a brief little visit before he goes off, he from college going back off to have more adventures this summer. But I was able to try on a flax sweater that I'm making for him, and picked out the yarn, picked out the pattern, and it's the Flax by Tin Can Knits, but he wanted we were browsing a bunch of projects, and there was a really nice modification someone had made. And the flax is the one that has the like band of garter that runs down the length of the sleeve. And we found one that was like a broken rib, and it really was a very, very excellent look. And so I got myself to the place where I thought that I was like, I wanted to fit it on his his torso, right? And I had done a few decreases because, these young men and their shapes are a little different than, like, let's say my shape. So he needs waist tapering. Um, and I stopped at the precise exact moment where I need to go to ribbing. So I was like,
Oh,
wow,
fabulous.
that was incredible. And then I measured his arms, but he's happy. And I did the neck while he was here. So that's definitely going to be a finish along priority for me as well, getting that done for him. And
Well, I was
Gwen, hi
tempted.
Gwen. Welcome.
Hi, I lost track of time and Teresa sent me a text and I went, oh, crud.
Well, we watched the slideshow once, but we decided we'd wait and do another showing after 5:30 because there's another at least one or two people that said they might be late. So don't worry about
Okay,
it. It's nice to
great.
have you. Yeah.
Thanks,
Pat, what
Kate.
were you going to say?
You're
I
welcome.
was just going to say I was so taken with the new supply of mohair that you got in last week that I ordered some to go with some stash yarn that I have to make my second Love Note, probably during the finish along.
Very cool. And what's your color palette like?
It's a I don't have the receipt with me right at the moment, but it's not the dark purple, it's the lavender lighter purple.
Yes.
It's going to be real sweet. I saw there was one Love Note in there that was of a lighter purple, so I'm wondering if they're about the same. So I'm excited about that.
And then the stash yarn, what color is that one?
Same.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. That's excellent. Anybody else have some priorities for finish along? Are you starting to think about what's going to be top of your list? Sarah, what do you got over there?
Not a project for a beginner.
Okay.
It's fabulous. It's the Caesura tuck, and I'm
Oh.
making it out of the Vera
Mm.
that you've got. And it's really nice to knit with. It's 80% organic cotton, 20% viscose aloe vera. And it feels really nice to the touch. Sometimes cotton can be really heavy, and it's sort of a tape yarn. So it's like a little tube without anything blown into it. And it looked like a really comfortable fiber. And the top has, I don't know if you can see it here. It's got this
Mm.
lovely tuck in the back. So
Ah.
it swings open. But the pattern designer's thing is she hates to weave in ends. So she calls it a ziggurat because you just do all of these bizarre contortions, and it's kind of mind bending.
Wait, who's the designer, Sarah? Because I've got it at the back at the edge of my mind. I'm thinking of someone.
Osa Soderlund, and
Yeah,
she's known as
yeah.
Osa Trick. It's ASA
Yep.
Tricosa, Tricosa. It's her patterns are on Ravelry, and she was in Knit Stars, and I did a ziggurat in the based on that, and I bought her book, which is very expensive, and I've told you, I think I brought it in once to show you. It's become sort of my Bible of fine finishing techniques.
Nice.
Sometimes I just think, cut the yarn and make it easy and weave in the end.
Yep.
But her finishing is really good, and her
Mm.
pattern drafting is excellent. So if you're up for a little mind bending, I think it's going to be beautiful.
She also did a fiber side chat that I saw, and that's when I first learned about that ziggurat wild method. And she was such what an incredible mind. Really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, it's basically you start drafting on the right side up. Then you create a crocheted cast on that goes off of the arm end, which eventually takes you over to the left shoulder, which you work in a way that looks upside down, but it works. So you just have to believe the pattern and check off every line.
That's wild. I mean, kind of a fun adventure. I remember talking to a knitter who said they really felt that they were a constructivist knitter. They were like, I like interesting constructions. I'm not, if it's got a little bit of something different, they were always just looking for like, well, what's a different way to make something that I already know? This Osa Tricosa, yes,
It is,
amazing.
and she's the only person I've ever seen who basically includes bust starts in all of her patterns and instructions. And she's really funny. She goes from I don't know if I can see it, so smallish, middling, busty, and wowza. And I think she's at a wowza. But
Okay.
the fit that people get on the patterns, they tend not to be, most of her patterns are not sort of oversized and roomy. So if you like something or want something that's tailored, you're gonna get it.
That's cool. Awesome.
But
Well, that's the
it was
adventure you'll
mind-bending
be on
today.
for your finish along. You'll be working on that like roadmap to make a sweater or make a tank in a new way. And anybody else got any finish along priorities?
I
Karen,
do.
yeah, yes.
My very first knit along was the Carbeth, which is this. And I did make it successfully, but I didn't want it that short. So I made it longer. But when I went to do the button bands, I did not take into consideration that it was longer. And I didn't pick up enough stitches, which and didn't really realize it till it was all the way done. So I'm going to attempt to take off the button bands, take out the ribbing, lengthen it even a little more, and then redo the button bands. So I have no idea how that's gonna do, but I figured with all you helpful people, that would be the
Yes.
time to try it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that is exactly the type of thing that you need motivation to do.
Yeah, and I bought an extra skein of yarn when I purchased the yarn, so I have enough. I have one full skein and then part of a second one, because I don't know how much of that I'll be able to reuse depending on how it comes out. But you live and learn, right?
What
Well, and
yarn did you
remember,
use?
yeah, what yarn did you use? Remind us.
It was vintage, Barocco vintage bulky.
Okay, the chunky, yeah.
Yeah, the chunky, and it's a sage green color. It's a beautiful color. And I love the detail, the way that it goes sort of down, and it does that in the back too. I won't have to mess with that. The sleeves are good. The sleeves are the right length. So we'll see. We'll see how it all happens. You'll be seeing it. Hopefully it'll be ripped apart by the time we start that in 2 weeks.
Yep, great. Well, and if you did need more yarn, I feel like vintage, Barocco is very consistent with
Yeah.
dye lots. I've
So
been,
I could get more.
yeah, if you needed it, but
I
hopefully
know
you
you
won't need
still
it.
have that same color because I've seen it. So
So,
That's
so
good.
question, so you're going to take out the button band, but
yep,
are you also taking out the ribbing across the bottom of the sweater
yes,
because you need it longer?
yep,
Okay, okay.
yep. So I'm gonna take the button bands completely off, which also comes up onto the top of the
Right.
collar.
Yeah, that should
So
be
that's
fairly
got to
easy.
come out too. I figured if I'm going to take it apart, it's still not quite as long as I would like it to be. So if I'm going to do it, I might as well lengthen it and then figure out exactly how many stitches I do need to pick up so that because it pulled, it's not right. And I should have realized it but I was all like, oh, I'm to the button bands. This is great. So I just kept on going.
So did you do a provisional cast on that and do the rib at the bottom, or did you start with the rib? Because that was a bottom up.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good question.
Ooh, wow.
Oh,
Oh,
Ooh, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not
goodness.
sure. And I
Mm.
don't have the physical sweater near me right
Yeah.
now, which is why I pulled out the pattern.
Well, you could
Oh,
always
well.
cut the ribbon, the band
Yeah.
off.
That's true.
And there were some folks with that particular knit along that had a similar thing. I remember one in particular who, she just like cut it off and did it a different way, right?
Couldn't you put barber cord like through the stitches above where you wanted to cut and then just cut it off? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's what
wouldn't
I
it be loose? Wouldn't it all be loose and fray?
I don't,
I mean, the barber cord would be holding the stitches, so if you put your barber cord sort of on a needle, maybe on like a skinny little one or double point.
mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, the challenge always when I'm doing that is like, am I picking up the right one in the right row?
Yeah.
Right.
So, there's always a little of that. And I probably would, if it were me, because I get very nervous, I would probably try to do some kind of lifeline or barber cord or something
Yeah.
going around. And then I wouldn't cut really, I would still cut a little bit away from it and probably like annoyingly pick back so
That's
that
Sure.
again, if I was a little off one way or the other, I
That
could.
makes sense. What I really should do is get in my car and drive to Camden and have you help me, Iris, but I don't know that that's
There you go.
actually going to
Perfect
happen.
road
So
trip.
I guess it depends on how it comes apart. I may be having to come to Camden and see you. We'll
Okay,
see.
well, yeah. And you could come up on a finish along Sunday and we could all weigh in and cheer you on.
That's a good idea. I may do that. We'll see. We'll see how it comes apart.
At least initially, until you get it back to square one, so you can
Yes.
start again. Ooh, gosh.
I'm a
scary.
And I
little
feel like
nervous
vintage
about it.
vintage
Not gonna
chunky
lie.
too has such nice stitch definition that I think that your picking up process should be shouldn't be too hard. I mean,
Mhm.
and especially like you want to extend your sweater bodies. So that's the other thing. You want to extend it so it might be really easy to look at your ribbing and go like, okay, I'm going to pick up 2 stitches above the ribbing, and if you have the ribbing as sort of your landmark to work from, I bet you'd have a pretty good success rate of picking up all the right stitches in the right
Yeah.
row.
Okay, so then
Different than
when
if
she gets ready to cut, do you just cut one stitch and weave it back out, or do you cut every stitch? That's the part that,
you're like chopping off the bottom of your sweater, like chopping
and it,
off that ribbing.
That's a
and it,
little terrifying, isn't it?
Yes.
yes, because my brain is not registering that it won't all just come apart and fray.
I mean,
Well,
Well,
hopefully that won't happen.
I think I'm gonna look this up. I think that Elizabeth Smith, our own Maine Elizabeth Smith designer, I think she has a tutorial video on this, and I'm gonna look that up for you.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna learn something in this one.
I'm gonna put it. I'll put it in the notes too, but I'll send it to you, Karen.
Thank you, Iris.
Okay.
Let's see.
I've taken out
Anybody?
a button band before because it was just like you say, I didn't pick up enough stitches, so it was puckery,
Yeah.
really bad puckery. So maybe I picked up too many because it was anyway, and redid it and was so happy with the results. So you're going to be really pleased when you get it.
Yeah, every time I put it on, I'm just like,
Yeah,
this
what
is a
it takes, 'cause
shame.
that's
I
such a
spent a
beautiful
lot of
sweater.
time knitting it and I
Yeah.
can't wear it because it's
It is-
just not right.
Yeah,
So
that's one of those good ones that you can just wear all the time. It's a workhorse sweater, really. So it needs to
exactly,
be right so you can
exactly.
enjoy
So
it.
I want to figure out how to, and I figured it was a good thing to do in the finish along. So
Perfect.
yeah,
We'll help you.
thank you.
Rah, rah, go.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna have to make
Oh.
pom-poms with some of my extra yarn. And
There you go. That's
Oh,
right.
we all need
Bring
pom-poms.
everybody
That's a
on.
good idea.
I think I might have found that video already. She taught. Yeah. Anyway, it'll be for later. But yes. Anybody else have any finish along goals?
yes.
Oh, let's see. Well, Teresa S., I saw your hand first. Then we'll go around.
So I don't have any works in progress other than this one shawl, which is currently a huge headache because I am attempting my first Latvian braid and it's just a
Ooh.
nightmare. But I do have yarn for 24 different projects in this cabinet. So
How
I'm
many
figuring
more?
I should work on some of those.
There you go.
that's a good plan.
Oh my God. And so your yarn, is it like you bought the yarn and you've got a pattern and like that's
Yeah.
I love that.
I've
Yeah.
already limited the yarn buying by saying I have to have a pattern. But it not enough, evidently. I'm relatedly not allowing myself to do the Fiberside summer crawl this summer. Gotta work through some of the backlog.
That's great. I love it. I love that. I'm always really impressed. I love it when people, and I mean, I do this somewhat, but I want to get better at it. Like I bought this yarn, I have this idea, I'm gonna not use it right now, but I'm putting it away with the pattern name or whatever, and the size I'm thinking. So organized. I love that. Thank you. And Julie, what's on your agenda for finish along goals?
Well, I haven't started the Love Note yet. But last week I was on the Puget Sound yarn crawl, which is 25 shops over 5 days. And I've done all of it in the past, and I have the backlog of yarn like Teresa's to show for it. But this time around, I limited myself to 16 shops. in one of which I met somebody wearing the Love Note she had recently made.
Aw.
Ah,
So she was very encouraging and it looked great. If I can get through that, because it's supposed to be for my daughter-in-law, so I would actually like to finish it fairly expeditiously. I went through my biggest closet where I have yarn projects stashed, and I was surprised that I didn't have more things partially done in there right now. But I will be choosing between a very pink shawl, and then that's the color, not the designer. Um, I did a Deshane sweater as part of a knit along back in 2020 or 21, and it needs its sleeves put on.
Mm.
I have yet to knit the sleeves. I haven't figured out the ratio to get them picked up because I used an odd yarn. So that's sitting there challenging me. And there was another sweater that I made probably 8 or 10 years ago. It was 3/4 done. I don't know why I set it down, except that I had to have some surgery about then. And I've changed size. So I need to figure out how to Franken sweater this thing because it has a gorgeous design in the center back that I have all done. And I really want to wear this thing with that nice design.
Beautiful.
But I foresee wedges in the side to accommodate my hips.
Love it. It's awesome. Great. Well, sounds like some good stuff. Anybody else want to share? Vicky?
I'll be finishing, I hope, my sweater that is
Ooh,
very
mm,
slowly coming along.
Pretty.
I have my class tonight and then we meet one more time. We don't meet every week. So I think maybe the first night of the knit along is with the finish along is probably the same night as my last class. But this is very, skinny yarn on little tiny needles, and it's taking much longer than I thought it would. So I'll be working on this. And then I also have the backlog that everybody else seems to have, and mine are in Ziploc bags with the pattern and the yarn.
Mhm.
And I have Iris's pattern, BYOB. Wait, no, not BYOB. What is it?
BYO party. BYO party. Yeah. Nice.
BYO party. And I bought the yarn at the Cashmere Goat last summer, and I would like to do
Oh,
that. And
great.
and I also have a temperature blanket that I need to finish before Christmas. So maybe that'll be the kick in the rear that I need to get back to that.
Vicky, did I miss it? What's the pattern for the sweater you're making right now?
I didn't tell you. Velichor by Andrea Mowry.
Oh, yes, yes.
Is that how you say it, or is it Velicor?
I think
Velichor?
Velacor.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see CH and I say ch.
Yeah, I think I've heard her say it Velacor. That's a great sweater. Hold it one up a little bit one more time. Yeah. Oh,
pretty.
so pretty.
It's very easy to follow the pattern. I mean, I'm just sitting here doing it, and I mean, it's easy to memorize, but it
Nice.
just takes a long time to go all the way around.
Mm.
Might be a motivation to lose more weight. I don't know. Make a smaller sweater.
Uh, Anybody else have any goals or projects in mind for Beth? What do you got?
So, well, I too have projects half done. I'm actually, since I finished the Love Note a little early, I'm actually finishing up on, what was the cardigan we did? I keep getting that. I want to call it the wrong name.
The dogs, no.
No, not the Dog Star.
Oh, the Scudic Bay, the Scudic
Yeah,
Bay.
the Scudic Bay. So
Yeah.
I'm like on the last sleeve, and then that will be finished. And I'm finishing up a pair of socks right now. What I want to work on, well, I started a crochet top, and it's called the Maria, and it's like granny squares, but I'm doing a different color every row, and I hate having to keep change colors. So I think I'm going to count up all my yarn because I'm using like about 4 different colors. I'm using Kelborn Woolens Mojave. And so right now I've got to count up my yardage, and I'm looking at some of the other patterns I have for some kind of like summer, whether it's like a tank or a tee or whatever, and make it striped. Because I just can't get through switching up a different color every round of granny squares. And then I would like to get back to, I have a pressed flowers cardigan that I started, and so I would like to pick that one back up. My biggest problem is I was looking at I did write down the size that I did in Knitting Companion, but I know I think I had to go down a needle size, and I didn't write it down. So the first round is going to be an adventure while I like I go to see if I've got, if I start with right needle, because I was looking at the pattern today, and it's a size 5, and I think I actually used a size 4. So I'd like to get that done.
Great. Sounds like you got a big agenda.
Oh, I've got more. But you know what? I will say that, you sent us the little chart last year, and I filled it all out. And actually added some stuff on the bottom. And I've actually throughout the year, like, been able to like check off a bunch of them. Like there was one t-shirt that I made it, and I decided it was too big, and I ripped the whole thing out and reknit it. I just finished that. I actually a while ago added about an inch onto the bottom of my Carbeth because I decided it wasn't long enough. And I actually a couple weeks ago added about an inch or so onto the bottom of my dog star. And thank goodness I learned from the Carbeth to put in a provisional, because it was so much easier to rip back the bottom ribbing. So yeah, I wore it like, well, I thought I had it long enough, and then I wore it once, and I was like, yeah, I think I want it just a little longer.
Yeah.
Well, and remember what Alexa said in our Zoom with her? She was like, you know what? The best thing I tell people is if it isn't exactly right, just deal with it, because you've invested all this time and effort, and you have something beautiful, and take that. It's always more a bigger deal in our mind maybe to make that leap, and then once we do, it's like we're making this thing to fit ourselves, and that's number one.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Gwen, did you want to add your finish along goals to the mix here? It's fun to hear about all these projects.
I have to get this finished. Baby blanket.
It's pretty.
He'll be here
Beautiful.
next month, and I'll be sitting here and still knitting away on it. But I got to get it finished.
Sometimes you just have to put things, and this is what happens, right? This is why we end up with projects get undone, because like, well, the baby's going to be born. I got to put my love note outside to, get the baby thing done. Then there's going to be something else that comes your way, and you're going to, I don't know, hopefully you'll come back to your love note because it's looking beautiful.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm going to get this finished, and I can concentrate on finishing the love note.
Awesome. Well, Mary Ellen, nice to see you. Mary Ellen emailed me to say she was running late, and so we watched our slideshow once, but then I said, well, let's wait a little bit because we might have some people coming late. Anyway, so we could watch it. We could watch it again now that you're here. See to see the show. Oh, you're muted, Mary Ellen. Do you want to show us your beautiful cute little love note in purple?
I'm going to tell you all bye. I've got to go to the other class.
Okay, great to see you, Vicki. See you for the finish along, we hope.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Uh, it's
Oh, so cute.
Aw,
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, that
Uh,
is.
that's
Aw.
adorable.
I do
My-
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't want it to be tight at the bottom, so I did knit two, purl two instead. And it's not tight at all. It just seemed like it grew, the whole thing, when I blocked it, because it's superwash, and I forgot that that's what it does.
Mm.
So I don't know whether I should take this out and do it knit
Hold it
one
up.
for one.
Yeah, hold it up a little bit. Hold it up for us again.
Little
A
taller.
little higher. So yeah.
There.
Oh, I love it. It
Yeah,
looks
I love
great.
it.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
Okay.
This is going on a child, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gonna be great.
It won't sit still long enough for anybody to criticize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Also, kids like don't like to be, I don't know, maybe it's just my kids. They did not like constricted situations either. So if it's a little looser at the bottom and allows for that nice freedom of movement, it's probably great.
Teresa looks really nice in hers.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
two Teresas.
Yes.
Two Teresas. Yeah.
Mm.
So good. All right, let me pull up the show and make sure I've got that. Okay. Do this. The music's working.
El día que nos casemos verás qué bueno. Nuestra casita feliz, nido de amor será. Y en esa casita linda solo estaremos cuatro personas, personas nomás. Cuatro personas, personas nomás. Tú y yo, papá y mamá.
So fun.
Yay.
Yay, everybody. And it was Gwen who I was thinking about who's using Sonata with a fuzzy yarn. I was trying to think of that, and that was you, Gwen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I really like the one by Rachel did for her daughter in Vintage DK. That came out so nice.
I'm gonna share the actual slideshow, with the slides, and that way we can pull up any one that we want to look a little closer at. So that one was, there she is. I know, isn't that great?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was another one. Oh, here's Isla's Sonata. And then Teresa's beautiful. I love that color. That is just such a great color. This one, I really wish that it was a better picture because in person, this is such a beautiful fabric. So it's plush single in the colorway Abalone, which is wow. And what Rachel from On the Round said, it's actually, she loves that particular colorway on plush single. Like it really just, that's her favorite base, I think, to dye it on, is what she said. But and Polly chose kind of a little bit of a little mauve, kind of very, very pale mauve lace by Lang. And it was stunning. And I couldn't capture the nuance there. Well, let's see if and then look, here's Linda, who we haven't seen on a Zoom in a really long time, but Linda from Alabama, so glad she was knitting along, and she used Wicked, which is such a fun color. Oh, and then this one. Okay, so Karen, Kathmandu fingering, I mean, it's great on her, but I don't think I ever could have imagined that Kathmandu fingering, which is a pretty lofty, I would call it a little close. It's a heavy fingering. But knitted this gauge, it has such a beautiful quality to the fabric. I just don't think I could have imagined how soft and light that yarn could feel. It's beautiful. Yeah. And
There
then with
was
the
a
silk
gray
paca.
sweater that there was two versions of the same sweater
Yeah,
earlier that
Jean.
was so stunning.
This one, right?
No, but
No?
I love that one too. No, it was maybe that one right there that you're
This one, Rachel?
maybe, yes. Well, yeah, that's one of them. I love that. But no, there was another one.
Let's see.
That's kind of early on.
Early on, okay.
It looked really professional. I mean, it looked like it was a designer cover for the pattern. It was so good. Golly, which one was it? Take my glasses off, maybe. Back up a little bit, the other way.
This way?
This one, number 15, maybe?
Number 15, Isla.
Oh, no, that's the one we
no.
just saw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I love this one too, was so adorable
That
on
is
this
so
sweet
sweet.
young lady. Yeah. Love it at the cropped length. Love it with that cute little shirtwaist dress.
Yeah. I think that wasn't that the idea the designer had? I mean, wasn't that what she designed it for, was to go over a dress she was wearing to a wedding?
There's this one.
That might be the number 35.
Okay. So this was interesting because
yeah, that's the one right there.
Yeah, I love the
Isn't that
fit on
stunning?
her.
Yeah.
It's a surprising yarn combination, but I love how it came out. She used two colorways of Delish by Jody Long, and that's a fingering weight, and it's a beautiful yarn. It's 50-50 wool and silk, and she held the two colors together, which I was like, ooh, I wonder how that's going to be, but it's gorgeous. Reads as a gray, but has this subtle pink green kind of vibe. Yeah.
So two different colors she held together?
Yes. Yeah. So one
Wow.
is sort of like a rose color and one is sort of a sage green color. So it's pretty bold, but the vision works and the fit was great. And like you said, the finishing is excellent.
Has an
Yes, it's
interesting
beautiful.
texture to the lace.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite different from the others.
Yeah, it's like it's tighter somehow. Like
Yeah.
that yarn was a little firmer rather
I
than
also wonder,
relaxed.
like, maybe in the left-hand one, like, I'm wondering, was it blocked yet? I don't know.
Could be.
Oh,
Beautiful.
the other one looks gorgeous. If it was
Mhm.
blocked, it just really held together well, the
Mm.
pattern.
And it's interesting to see that yarn held double because, you know, we have so many shop samples, but only as holding a single strand. And I would not have predicted that it would be yeah, I wish I could feel the fabric, because it
So
looks
the
like it would be.
fabric is called Delish.
So the yarn is called
I mean,
Delish.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a fingering weight. It's a beautiful, soft blend. Some very bright colors, some less bright colors. And it definitely has a sheen to it as well. So I'm thinking that that's something that we don't necessarily see in this picture either, is how it's going to, you know,
Right.
play with the light. Yeah, the silk content is pretty high. It's nice.
So now that you talk about the colors, look at the one on the left. You can below the pattern, you can kind of see that the colors in there that I would
Oh,
never
yeah.
noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Look at that.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Pretty.
What a
Yeah.
surprise.
What were the
People-
colors? What were the colors that she used?
She used it was like a dusty rose and sort of a sage green, if you're
Wow.
looking it up.
Yeah, I was looking it up. That's interesting. Yeah.
Really
It looks
interesting.
gray.
Yeah,
Mm.
super wild. Well, I will stop the share because we're already after 6
We're
o'clock
after 6.
already. Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
How do we do that?
But thank you guys for being part of this knit along. Thanks to everybody who was part of this knit along, whether or not you joined us for a Zoom or not. But we had, bye, Sarah. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. We had, I think, about 120 people participate, which is
Wow,
great.
Wow.
And so many folks from all over. And this is just I really think this was a fun pattern to do as a knit along, and all the different ways that people like Beth, you know, modified that lace a little bit, or like Jean in the slideshow who didn't do any lace at all. And that sweater is like, I feel like it's such an elegant piece, you know, and people just really made this design their own. It was great. So thank you for being
A lot
here.
of fun.
Hope to
thank
see you
you.
for the finish along in a couple
Mhm.
weeks. And
yes.
Need
we'll
that
connect.
encouragement.
We need the encouragement. We'll be here for you, Karen, with your button bands.
Yes.
We got you.
We'll see how much I get ripped out by 2 weeks from now.
Well, sounds good.
Good
I'm going to
luck
send you
on
that
that.
Elizabeth Smith because it's like a 35-minute video and she's pretty in depth with it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
All right.
luck
Well,
with
good night,
that.
you guys.
Fun,
Great to
everybody.
see you all.
Bye,
Good night.
Iris.
Bye.